Okay, so because I love the surroundings, we're going to be recording on a playground today. So, okay, so I did take notes. So if I'm going to be looking at my phone over the notes that I took. So today we're going to be talking about how to recognize and break your ideologies and self-defeating thoughts. So the first step for any healing journey is always recognition of the journey, recognition of the wound. I'm sure you've heard that many times. And then after that, it's not just about denouncing those emotions, because when you denounce the emotion that you've recognized, it's almost like you telling yourself that your feelings aren't valid, and your feelings are always valid. So step one is always to recognize those emotions, and then step two, which is what I really focus on in a lot of my healing practices, is finding ways to turn that thought, or finding ways to heal that thought. So turning the repeating thought into a positive and uplifting thought, and then also understanding the original base memory that caused that feeling, that caused that thought to become a pattern, and then healing that original experience. So that is, yeah. So when we view the world, the way we view a world plays a huge impact on how we live and interact with it. So if we view it with a negative lens, or a lens of low self-worth, we will enable an environment that confirms that. Hey, wind. If we view the world with a lens of self-love, optimism, and respect, then watch how the doors open for you. So it's the same thing with when you get into a relationship, and in that relationship, people say, oh, you've got like the rose-colored lenses, the strawberry glasses on, like the lens of love. And when you look at a relationship from the lens of love, it's beautiful and it's perfect and it's uplifting, butterfly confirmation, but it's beautiful, it's perfect, it's uplifting. And when you view your relationship from the lens of like, oh, I like when you that moment when you switch to getting ready to break up with someone or getting ready to cut off a friend, it's like all of a sudden I don't get as happy when they like bring me things. I don't get as happy when they compliment me, because instead of viewing it from that lens of love, you're viewing it from the lens of this isn't worth it to me anymore, or like this isn't healthy for me, or I don't like this. So all of a sudden it changes your perception of your reality, and so you experience your life in a different way. And it works the same way with our thoughts. We can view our life with a lens of love, or we can view our life with a lens of I don't know why I was going to say defecation, depression, the lens of low self-worth, the lens of negativity, the lens of trauma. And the lens of trauma changes everything. So that's what we're going to work on. So step one, journal every day. Find some sort of self-awareness practice. The easiest one that I can think of is journaling. So journaling every day. Other great self-awareness practices are yoga, working out, meditating, and grounding in general. But find some sort of self-awareness practice that you can do every day as often as you can throughout the day. I would say journaling. I personally journal, and then I'm trying to get to meditating. I do meditate every day, but I journal every day. I'm trying to get to doing yoga every day and doing more workout practices so I can build my mental discipline. So when you journal, you should always focus on how you feel, when you feel that way, and why you felt that way. So not just what happened, but how you feel, when you felt it, why you felt it. Bonus points if you can tie it to a past event, and we'll talk about that later. The second thing is to practice questioning negative thoughts, okay? A negative thought is anything that doesn't make you feel good, okay? So, and that goes with everything. So I know some people may say like, oh, well, what if it's a negative thought like, they don't want to be my friend, but you're the one who's like attacking them. Okay, but that's still a negative thought, right? They don't want to be your friend, so why? Okay, but practice questioning those negative thoughts. That means questioning if the negative emotions are grounded in reality, if they're grounded in your thoughts, or if they're grounded in how other people feel. And remember that fear is false evidence appearing real. Take responsibility for your actions that may have contributed to that thought, and also release responsibility for the actions that you can't, like things that you can't control. So things that you couldn't have done that you also can't control. Because just because you feel guilty doesn't mean that you're in the wrong. Okay, so still with me. I know we're just 5 minutes in, but still with me. Cool, we're gonna keep on going. So, journaling, recognizing those thoughts, what happened, when it happened, how it made you feel, and why you felt that way. Okay. The more you journal, the more self-aware that you are, the more evident the pattern will be. And the more evident the pattern is, the easier it is to call that out in your day-to-day life. And once you have the foundation in place to change that pattern into a positive pattern or a positive thought process, a positive ideology, then every time that shows up in your life, you can just take that thought and remember, okay, this instead. Oh, I have low self-worth. I'm worthy of this every single time I think that. And that begins to reframe your mindset. And eventually you don't have to say it every single time, but once you recognize those things and put in place the new thought or the new ideology that you want to replace the negative one with, then you'll have the ammo to keep putting that new ideology in place.
Okay. It's editing Jaya. I'm cutting this video here because even though it was only 5 minutes, it was kind of very dense and thick, and I want you guys to be able to apply what I just said in this video before trying to take in more knowledge. So if you've already applied what I've said or you were taking notes and you're ready for the next part, then I'm just going to go ahead and put my end clip, and I'll link part 2 in that end clip, so you can just click on this part 2. If you feel like you do need some time, to get your journal ready and like start the process and kind of get used to that self-discovery before you get into how to apply all of that and how to change those ideologies, then you can save. The part 2 is still going to be linked. You can click on it, just save it to your watch later, or save it to your watch later playlist so that you can see it, or maybe trust the algorithm to pop it up whenever it's time. But that way you can take the time you need to start journaling and start those practices, start recognizing the patterns in your ideologies. That way when you're ready to start breaking them down and understanding how to break them down, the video is just sitting there waiting for you. But thanks for watching, and here we go.
Welcome to my end card. Oh. You're a little crooked. Are you crooked? Are you crooked or am I crazy? Welcome to my end card. If you're here, it means you got to the end of this healing video. Yay! Down below is the subscribe button, or maybe to the side, depending on what platform that you are on. And go ahead and hit that like and comment down below something that was really impactful so that others can see it and be inspired. If you're looking for my book, and if you're still here, I'm assuming that you are, or you're just trying to figure out what more you can do to heal in the best way. You know what more you can do? Watch another video. Watch another video. Or you can check out my healing book that I just published. It's the most recent one right now. It's called Breathe, Inhale, Exhale Book. And it's going to be over sexual assault trauma and PTSD recovery. It should be linked to my bio down below, or you should be able to DM me for a copy of that, or a link to get yourself a copy for that. If you're going through financial struggles, definitely let me know so I can put you on my radar. And maybe, if you sign up for email updates, you'll get a bonus or something. I don't know.